All right, welcome back, everyone. So, I want to use this video to update you guys on the censorship that I've been experiencing with the County of Henrico. So, many of you understand that I've been leaving comments on Henrico County's Facebook page regarding water fluoridation, and they've been censoring me. They've been hiding my comments. This is a violation of the U.S. Constitution. It is a violation of the Virginia Constitution. So it remains to be seen as to if Henrico is going to behave. Okay. But I did want to share with you guys the email exchanges that's been going on, so you can understand my position and you can understand Henrico County's position. So yeah, let's jump straight into it, shall we? Here we go. So this was the email exchange that I wanted to show you. This isn't all of them. I realized that if I did go over everything, it would probably take several hours. There's a lot of constitutional law that I go into, case law, and then I present the comments that were censored, and those in itself are rather lengthy. The Just for some context, the comments that they censored were comments regarding water fluoridation and comments regarding the Constitution. So this was the response after some back and forth. He says, I have discussed your comments with the county employees who run the Henrico County government Facebook page. No one associated with the county has censored your comments or taken any other action affecting them. I don't buy that, but okay. The issues you're noticing may be the result of Facebook's default setting. Okay, Facebook's default settings or actions taken by Facebook itself. They are not the result of anything the county has done. Then he goes on to say the legal authorities you have cited do not, when he's saying the legal authorities I've cited, he means the case law that I have cited, do not address Facebook's default settings or actions taken by Facebook. Nevertheless, out of an abundance of caution, the county has unchecked the show most relevance comments first settings for the page. So that was the setting that they had on, was the show most relevant, and so it was being selective. So I even tested that though, because they said, well, your comments are not relevant to the post. And so I went ahead and left comments that were completely irrelevant to the post, but praised the county, and those all were left alone. It was only the comments that was critical of the county just so happened to be hidden from view. So then he says this action may affect the way your comments appear. I know of nothing else the county could do to alleviate your concerns. Okay. So I respond back and said, thank you for your response regarding the Henrico County government's Facebook page. However, my comments on such as but not limited to the county's November 11th, 2025 Veterans Day. That was the one that really bothered me, that they censored me on Veterans Day. And that's what kind of prompted me to send an email to the attorneys, letting them know we've got a situation here. I'm tired of it. They censored me during public comment period. They've censored my public comment handouts. They're censoring me on Facebook. I'm the Veterans Day was the one that did it. So if they want to know, why I didn't pipe up earlier, Well, it's because I was a little busy, and once you did it on Veterans Day, yeah, that's too much, okay? You don't censor Americans on Veterans Day. I mean, what's next? 4th of July. So I then go on to say, and then December 19, 2025 posts remain hidden. So both of they remain hidden. So they can change it so they're not hidden anymore, but they still are. Okay. I then say, as previously stated, Henrico County controls its Facebook page settings and moderation tools. Automatic tools are still government action when used by a government entity who authorized their use in this case. So his argument that the legal cases I brought up don't address if Facebook their setting is automatic, their Facebook setting by default is to censor. He thinks that this like they think, well, so there's no issue. Like if it's Facebook setting, default setting is censorship, therefore, it you don't have a case essentially. And I know that this lawyer knows better. I have to imagine he's kind of saying that, kind of like, if you're having an argument with somebody and they kind of like want to get in the last word. And to me, this is kind of like, oh, sure, we're going to do the right thing, but it's not because we have to or because we're right, it's because, we're just going to do the right thing, kind of a thing. I mean, how about we just honor the Constitution and stop censoring the public, okay? So anyway, it's very tiring, I got to say. Henrico County controls its Facebook page settings and moderation tools. Automated tools are still government action when used by a government entity who authorize their use in this case. The continued indivisibly, essentially keeping my comments invisible, of my comment demonstrates that moderation, whether manual or automatic, by the county or its contractors is still occurring. As a government operated public forum, Henrico County is constitutionally required to ensure that any moderation is viewpoint neutral, non retaliatory, and properly documented. For clarity, there were several days during which the county's page was set to display all comments. During that period, my comments were fully visible. After the county reverted the setting to most relevant, my comments again became hidden. So they're going out of their way to have a setting which censors the public. This change resulted in the suppression of my speech and constitutes knowing and willful viewpoint discrimination. The assertion that Facebook does it automatically does not absolve the county of responsibility. Henrico County controls whether and how Facebook's automated moderation tools are deployed. The use of such tools by a government entity remains government action, subject to constitutional constraints. Accordingly, this correspondent can serve as a formal notice. Unless Henrico County promptly restores my censored comments to full public visibility, ceases selectively censoring or suppressing my protected speech, and revises its social media policy to bring it in compliance with the U.S. Constitution. Their social media policy is unconstitutional. I will continue documenting these actions and expect a timely written response. So here's what's so crazy. So he's like, okay, we're going to stop censoring you and we're going to change the setting. And I thought, great. Well, then when I posted something, it was completely, or I commented rather, it was completely hidden. It was even worse. And then, from my memory, they changed it so it could be viewed. And I thought, okay, great, everyone can view it. And then they changed the setting again so it was hidden. So, what are we doing here? Why are we censoring people's comments, for Pete's sakes? We know why. It's because they will go to any length in order to hide their bad acts. That's why they do this. And the argument of saying, well, Facebook's setting by default censors, so therefore you don't have an argument. You do. Okay, so that's really cute. But separate from that, imagine if somebody speaks during public comment period and you have the microphone, right? And Henrico decided to hire a private company to do the audio video, and the private company turns off the microphone anytime women show up to speak. That's their default setting. Their default setting is to turn off the microphone anytime women speak. Henrico County cannot just sit there and say, well, that's the default setting. It's not us doing it. It's the company that we hired to do it. So you can't say that, it's not Henrico censoring. It's the platform that we're using is doing the censorship. It does not work that way. They know it doesn't work that way. And in order to insinuate that it does work that way, shows a level of corruption, okay? And that is what Americans are tired of, is the corruption. And in my opinion, there's nothing that can be matter more than preserving the First Amendment. Because if we cannot preserve the First Amendment, everything else is we're done for it. Because if we can't speak about the issues, we've got no chance, okay? So we've got to make sure to preserve the First Amendment. Before I sign off here, just in case you guys are interested, I will show you what court cases that I cited. So let me just go to those in case you would like to see those. So this case right here, Elizabeth Schultz, which was the plaintiff, versus Kenneth J. Lenners, Town of Cedar Lake and Town of Cedar Lake Board of Supervisors, cited 4 cases, and they were very helpful. So I would encourage anyone who is a victim of censorship from their government on social media to make sure that you use these. I mean, you can do whatever you want. This is not legal advice. Obviously, this is not legal advice. This is in my opinion. But you can use these cases because it does hold up. And I mean, the argument, I cannot see any judge, unless he's absolutely been corrupted, but I cannot see any judge saying, well, sure, if Facebook's default setting is to censor, you don't have an argument there. That's our government. That's our government. So they're censoring about water fluoridation, and they are censoring about the Constitution. They're censoring about censorship. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this answers the question as to what's been going on. It remains to be seen if they're going to stop censoring me. It kind of seems like it depends on who's over there. There'll be a few comments that I post, or I don't know what the correct terminology is for this. A few comments that I leave on their post, and they're left alone. And then I'll comment something very similar, and it's immediately hidden. So I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not consistently being censored, but my comments aren't being consistently left alone either. So I'll just have to, keep an eye on it and see what's going on. I was thinking maybe I'll just randomly leave a comment every day, and then every single time I'm censored, just email the attorney to make a record of it. And, maybe I'll put together a 1983 civil rights lawsuit. There's a nonprofit that has reached out to me and expressed interest in taking this up. So we will see. I could do this myself, but gosh, I mean, it's such a drag. It's such a drag. I mean, but the more they censor me, the more I think maybe I'll just go ahead and do it, just to get it over with, for Pete's sakes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it seems relatively simple, but, the portion of going in front of the judge and so forth, it's mainly the how do you file things, and there's kind of a bunch of little procedural type of things that one has to learn when doing something like this, which is a little bit tedious, I guess I should say. But I mean, people do it all the time, and folks that I follow, I've seen them do it. I have friends who have sued in court themselves, pro se, who can give advice to me. Not legal advice, obviously. Nobody's given legal advice, but anyway, all right, so that is that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and smash the subscribe, share the video, leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Okay, guys?